I'm here with Pops and the Patriarch Tree, and today we're in the Ancient Bristlecone Pine Forest exploring the Patriarch Grove. The Ancient Bristlecone Pine Forest protects some of the oldest trees in the entire world, known as the bristlecone pines. The trees live in a rough elevation between 10,000 and 11,000 feet in the White Mountains, and they're really impressive to see. There are two main groves to see in the Ancient Bristlecone Pine Forest, but in this video we're focusing solely on the Patriarch Grove, which is the harder one to get to and has the largest bristlecone pines. To start the adventure to the Patriarch Grove, you'll have to drive 45 minutes out of Big Pine up to the Discovery Center. Alright, so we made it to the Bristlecone Forest. That direction takes us to the Visitor Center Discovery area, and then that way takes us out to Patriarch Grove, but it's a 13-mile dirt road. From here, it's a 13-mile dirt road that you will need to take to drive all the way out to the Grove. The road can be really rough, and I would not recommend it without at least a high clearance vehicle and possibly four-wheel drive during certain times of the year. This is the road we're going up right there. Started way over here, all the way up. This is a pretty slow going road as you make your way up to 11,000 feet of elevation. We are 1.5 miles away and it was super crazy, really rocky. Probably needed a high clearance car, and now it's paved for some reason. We reached a turn and we are heading towards the Patriarch Grove. We made it to the Patriarch Grove. It took us about an hour and 15 minutes from Big Pine. The last mile and a half was pretty rocky. Definitely need a high clearance car. I probably wouldn't do it in a typical sedan, but it's a beautiful day, clear skies, little wind, but we're excited to explore. My dad has never been here before either, so it's a first for him.
Epic, it's surreal.
He's the oldest person I know, and we're seeing the oldest trees in the world.
Trees older than me.
These photos were taken 50 years apart. You can see how the little small trees start growing. There's two trails in this area. This is the Patriarch Grove Trail. It's about a quarter of a mile, and then the other trail goes to the top of that little hill. So we're doing the Grove first, then heading over there. If you take the time to drive all the way out here, then you might as well do both trails. We started with the Patriarch Grove Trail. This is the Patriarch Tree, which is the biggest ancient bristlecone tree in the world. The oldest one is on the trails near the Visitor Center, but this is the biggest one. As the world's largest bristlecone pine, it's pretty cool to see, and the tree sits at around 11,300 feet. This trail takes you past the largest bristlecone and on a short loop around many of the other trees. Along the way, there are information plaques that tell you about the trees and how they live in this climate. It's a nice trail that gives you a good introduction into the ancient bristlecones. Check out how cool this one is with the splits and how it curves. So cool. This little grove trail is incredible. It's so far away, so there's no other people, and it's just such a unique landscape. This is my second time doing it, and honestly, I think I like it more this time than I even did the first time. This area is nuts. It feels almost like a moonscape or something. There's basically nothing up here, even like over there and stuff, other than these trees, but they stop like right here. In case you just want to sit and soak it in, there's a few benches along the trail as well. The rocky trail is relatively flat and easy to follow with lots of interpretive plaques, but you will want to take your time because you're at over 11,000 feet, so it can be pretty hard to catch your breath. Thousands of years old? 10 years old. So what do you think about your first trip to the pine forest?
The trees are so unique, and The variations of the colors are incredibly beautiful, even on the dead trees. The way that whatever it is gets into the joints and stuff, it's just absolutely beautiful.
My dad and I spent about 30 minutes walking around this loop trail, looking at all the different trees and seeing how unique each one was. Alright, so we made it back to the parking lot and we're gonna head out on the second trail, which is the Cottonwood Basin Overlook Trail. The second trail heads up to a viewpoint that provides great views of the surrounding landscape. This trail gains about 50 feet of elevation, which doesn't sound like much, but it is pretty hard when you're at 11,000 feet. Luckily, the trees are really cool, so you can just take your time, relax, and soak it all in. The benefit of doing this trail as well is that when you're gaining elevation, you get some amazing views back towards the Patriarch Grove. What do you think? My dad said this looks like a coyote howling, but I think it kind of looks like a peacock or a chicken. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. We've almost made it to the summit of this overlook. That road right there takes you up to where you start the White Mountain hike. I'll put a link to that hike up here if you want to see what it's like. Made it to the top of the overlook. There's the Patriarch Grove. Cottonwood Basin is over there, I think. Really pretty. The Patriarch Tree is like right here where we started. Once you make it to the overlook, it's pretty hard to tell what you're looking at as there's no signs or anything up there, but the views are pretty incredible. This is a loop trail, so we get to start going down the other side. After soaking in the views, you can start to make your way back down to where you parked, but note that this is where some of the best trees in the grove are. You definitely want to do this short trail as well. There's so many cool trees, plus it's a great view at the top. If you've never seen them before, it really is hard to comprehend how unique these trees are, and it's definitely something you're going to want to add to your California bucket list to visit. Pops is taking advantage of the bench for one of the coolest trees we've seen in this whole grove. After exploring for about an hour and a half, we made our way back to the car and started the long drive back to the Discovery Center. You can see my video on the Discovery Loop Trail in the description. Thanks for exploring the Patriarch Grove with us. You can see more Highway 395 recommendations in the description, and we'll see you on the next video.